Guys, I want to introduce you to the newest member of our band, Trax. Do you guys have a Trax human in your band?
On occasion, every now and then we decide to feed it, and it comes up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do, and as time goes on, it seems like the Trax member of the band gets more and more busy, more and more of a prominent role.
Yeah.
And you guys, I mean, obviously with the pop style that you guys are doing, it's a huge part of what you do.
Yeah, I think it can be used for a couple reasons. Crutches.
Yeah.
To make bad mixes sound great. And for us, it's more, there's just so much happening in the arrangements. How do you replicate that with only sometimes 4 or even 9 or 10 people on stage, and a lot of them singers? How do you create these sounds?
Well, that's how it was for us, even on the Tomlin tour, with the style not being so EDM driven necessarily.
Yep.
But for people who knew the albums that had a ton of overdubs and extra guitar parts and extra vocals, to be able to pull that off with 5 people on stage was impossible.
Yes.
But an audience member comes expecting to hear what they heard on the album in a lot of ways.
Yep.
You know, whether it's Tomlin or Passion or Hillsong, or you know, they go to the Timberlake show or the Taylor Swift show, and so there's this expectation of, hey, everything kind of looks like it did at that concert, so I should be able to hear kind of sort of what they're trying to do in their live show. We
do ours a little bit different. There's just some songs you do that are popular that everybody expects, like you said, they've been listening to it on the radio, and they just expect it to sound a certain way. So that's one thing. Our band makeup is usually a little larger, and we try to do things that are just with a lot more just real analog instruments and trying to keep some of that authentic. You honestly can't do that, though, with some of these crazy songs with some weird little line or crazy little part that becomes a hook. Even though it's really simple and might only happen 3 or 4 times, it becomes a hook of the entire song.
Yeah, especially if that person is trying to pull off another part.
Playing a B3 or pedals and stuff like that. So we'll sometimes put tracks together and feed the beast a little bit. And in rehearsal, we will, the intention is to see how much of it we actually need as we go through rehearsing a tune.
It's like, what can you get away with not using?
Yeah. And sometimes, like we did a conference a year ago, our Big Seeds conference, and we ended up doing the entire thing with no tracks. But we had massive tracks all built out before we did it.
Yeah.
I mean, like, sounded awesome. As we go through rehearsals for all that, we realized some of these players are like, oh, well, I've got 2 hands, you know, and I can play over here or whatever. But it was really cool because all of it became things we used for the band to learn the parts, the demos, all that. So sometimes there's another way to use tracks, not just live. It could be just helping get everybody on the same page.
Yeah,
that's cool.
So we do that when we're building the arrangements for what's going to be on the track. We start with everything, every single thing.
It's great.
So in our case, when we write our own songs, the record label sends over the stems from the mix engineer, and I have all of it. And then I can throw them all in Ableton, and then we can create subgroups, and let's hear everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, I don't need that piano part. He's playing the piano part, and it sounds bad. They're flamming with each other.
Yeah.
Same thing with kick drums.
Yeah.
A lot of these pop songs, the kick drum is this huge electronic kick drum driving. Well, in the chorus, it may flam with the real kick drum.
Right.
So we may go, give it to me in the verse, but not in the choruses.
Right.
And then back on the turnarounds. Like, we really have to be calculated with what's on it, so it can make the band sound worse in that case.
Right.
Right, if you're doubling parts.
And the same with like bass synth parts.
Yes.
Yeah. See, these synth bass parts that are real rhythmic and part of the actual drive of the song.
Yep.
Most bass guitars can't sound like that.
No.
But you can fly them in at certain times to really be the right thing.
Right.
I love, that feels like a lot more creative way to use tracks than just going, hey, look, they have all these tracks available, let's use all of them. Because a lot of times you go in and that's what people use as a substitute for just a little bit more work.
Yeah.
But then there's the ones who are like, might be in a small church or whatever and only have 3 or 4 musicians.
Right.
And it completely makes the song.
Right.
And they can do these huge songs that they couldn't 3 years ago.
Yeah. So resources like multitracks.com are great for those guys.
Yeah.
Because they can supplement what they're not able to pull off live. Or if they have a beginner instrumentalist who's kind of insecure, they can use that as a way to help learn the song and then just kind of play along and get better because you've got the original masters there to kind of lean on, which is great. But for that band, for the guys who are just beginners, I don't want them to just sort of run out and buy this huge library and say, okay, this week we're going to start playing tracks, and nobody's even ever played with a click before.
Right.
Like first step, okay, let's introduce a click track.
Yeah.
And make sure we can all get better, play better in time and better together, and craft an arrangement instead of just holding on for dear life, playing all the right chords at the right time.
Right. First one to the bridge gets lunch. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll race you to the third chorus.
Yeah.
No, let's figure out how to play in time first. So then as we add these other elements, we're actually becoming better musicians because of the foundational stuff that we started with.
That's good.